Okay, we are back. Getting through these videos. We're going to move on to the Gospel of Mark and Resurrection Day. Now, this one is a little different, and originally when I had read the four Gospels, I didn't even remember what happened on Resurrection Day, except that Jesus rose from the dead. After going back and studying, wow, the contrast is amazing, and how it ties into Revelation and all of the Old Testament. It's just staggering how much information is here. So let's take a look. Chapter 16, verse 1. And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome had bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. It doesn't seem like it's that different from Luke. However, notice that it's just Mary and Mary Magdalene and Salome. Remember that when Luke was displaying Resurrection Day, it was Joseph the counselor, Joseph of Arimathea, and then all the women of Galilee. Now what we have is Mary, the two Marys, and Salome. Let's take a look at what this means. So she's only mentioned twice, Mark 15:40 and 16:1, and we see that the word comes from the verb shalem, which is to be or make whole or complete. And there's only one woman named Salome in the Bible, as mentioned, is the daughter of King Herod the Great, and she's famously, the one recorded as asking for the head of John the Baptist on a platter. What happens when the bride leaves? The great harlot, Mystery Babylon, stands up, the one world order, and they persecute the saints and make martyrs of everyone, essentially chopping their heads off. And this is shown in Revelation, where the saints that were martyred for the testimony of Jesus are under the altar, that uncountable multitude that have to wait until all of the tribulation saints are martyred before they can receive their white robes. So it makes sense, and again fits in with what we've been studying about the groups of people that these Gospels are written to, that Salome is there in Mark, the tribulation saints, the one that asked for the head, come out of her, my people, the great harlot, the people that come out of Mystery Babylon, who may have even taken part in some of the persecutions, realize, I made a mistake, and they believe the truth. They're going to be martyred themselves. All right, let's take a look at the third verse here. And they say among themselves, who shall roll away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? You see, Jesus right now is a stumbling block, as prophesied in Isaiah and 1 Peter. All throughout the Old Testament, this chief cornerstone, Jesus, the most precious stone, will be a stumbling block to the Jews, rock of offense to, many people in the last days, the mockers and scoffers. This is what they're talking about. After the bride is taken, the people that couldn't believe the gospel because they were offended in Jesus, they'll see that, this is true. The stone's going to be rolled away for them. Right now it's, how do I get around this rock of offense? How do I get around the gospel? How do I get around Jesus to get to heaven, to make myself feel good about myself? Well, once the truth is known, that rock of offense is out of the way because you can't argue against the truth. Now you can believe the great deception that's going to be thrown to everyone by Satan, which is aliens took them, or some other weird perversion. I think it's going to be aliens though. However, most of the people I think are going to wake up. I mean, that's the prophecy. Uncountably many will realize the truth and say, nope, no mark for me. I know what just happened. I'm on Team Jesus now. So they have the stone rolled away for them. They're worried about the stone, but the stone is rolled away when they get to the sepulcher. All right. Verse 5, and entering into the sepulcher, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted. Isn't it interesting that in Luke we saw the two witnesses left after the bride was taken? What do we see in Mark? A man in a long white garment sitting on the right side. What do we say about the right side? If we go back to Luke 22, verse 69, hereafter shall the Son of Man sit on the right hand of power. After the bema and the crowning ceremony, we have our crowns. After the bema and the crowning ceremony, this gives evidence that believers who have gone through the bema will come back in glorified bodies, preach, minister, guide, prophecy to those left behind. They've been given authority. They're sitting on the right side now. They have their white garments. People that are tribulation saints, and really the whole world, are going to see this happen. They won't be able to do anything with the people in glorified bodies. They're impervious. And anybody that tries to hurt them, just like it says in Revelation, fire comes out of their mouth and devours them. Nobody can overcome the saints, the glorified saints, except for the Antichrist himself. And the word for the white garment, just to touch on that, is leukos, which is bright or white, and really it's especially bright or brilliant from whiteness, the dazzling white. And it's spoken of the garments of angels and of those exalted to the splendor of the heavenly state. It's clearly talking about glorified believers who have been given a seat of authority. They were the bride. They're going to come back and rule and reign with Christ, at his second coming. And it does kind of give a hint to the fact, or it does kind of give a hint to the idea that these glorified people will be ministering, teaching, leading, guiding the tribulation saints where they need to go. It's just absolutely amazing. Once again, it all lines up to the four groups. Mark is for tribulation saints. I mean, no pun intended, but it's just another nail in the coffin. This has nailed it perfectly. So, all right, on to the next one. We'll see you guys in the next video.